Joe's new album, Classic Christmas. That was Nordone, Manning and Hoffman, Santo Natale on Classic FM. Joe, how happy were your school days? There's been claims that you perhaps did suffer a bit of bullying. How correct is that?
Yeah, I never know where this came from. There was quite a big deal made out of it last year about the fact that I got bullied at school, and it wasn't the case. I was never bullied. I had a really, really happy school life, lots of friends, lots of different groups of friends. I hung around with lots of different groups, and plain sailing. It was a really plain, I suppose, people like to think that, you can't just have a happy school life. But yeah, I absolutely loved school, got up every morning and just skipped me way there. I loved it.
And do you still stay in touch with some of those mates?
I do. Still have all the same friends from college.
How important is that to you? Because obviously, perhaps your life will have exceeded most of their expectations, I would imagine. Is it important that you stay in touch?
Vital. They're the people that know you for who you are and not for what you have or what you are. And I think, that's not to say that I haven't met friends on the way that I trust and that I'm very fond of and I love to pieces. But, your best friends from school are your foundations. They were there when, you were learning with them. And I still live in the same area for that very reason. I'm quite conscious that, my life changed in terms of my career and a certain part of my personal life. But I'm very, very, very obsessed with making sure that it doesn't change, the fact of where I live and who I hang around with. It's something I'm really I make sure I stick with it.
See, here's the interesting thing. There'll be people listening to you right now who would love to try and accept it, and there'll be mums and dads whose kids will say, oh my God, this is the pressure. You put yourself up to something like this. This is the deal that you do with the devil, is it, Joe, effectively?
Yeah, it's like, I suppose it's like any job, and I think that's the most important thing that you have to look at it. It's a job at the end of the day. I think when people let it take over their life, I think that's when it becomes messy. Because, everybody needs a life of their own. And I think if you do this job and you wrap yourself in it too much, your life becomes public. And I think that's the mistake that a lot of people do make. And it is annoying when people have opinions on everything and, people only mention negative things when there's so many other positive things going on in your career. Like, I heard the other day of somebody was interviewing us, and everything they mentioned was everything that's bad that has happened in your career. It was three things. And everything else was just totally as if it hadn't happened. And, people just have some kind of tendency to focus on so many bad things. But you just got to let it go. You've got to just, over the head, off you go, and just enjoy the reason why I ended up the X Factor was because I wanted a career in music.
So what do you do, or where do you go when you just need to clear your head? Do you read a book? Do you go for a walk in the woods? Do you have a hot bath? Do you have a dog or a cat? What do you do?
I go for a run along the beach back at home in South Shields. I catch up with friends. I go to the cinema, go to the pub. What I love about where I live is everybody knows us, so everybody just says hello, stops by, makes sure I'm alright. Nobody kind of makes a big deal about the fact that I'm anyway, which is really nice. Because I just feel really normal. And that's what I like to feel.
So the album's Classic Christmas. What would be your classic Christmas? You must have been asked that already, I'm sure.
Lots of sleep, lots of food, just time with friends and family, and I've spent a lot of time on the road this year and in different places, so just a bit of time at home, I think. And I do go away skiing for Christmas as well, which we'll be doing after Christmas.
Time for another carol.
This is Silent Night, and I think it's just a beautiful song. Christmas classic.